The horizontal evaluation is a peer review methodology which focuses on an experience, and the experience is usually a project, a certain methodology, a process that happened, and it is clearly defined. For this peer review evaluation, internal people are involved, but also external people. External people refer to actors who also are confronted to similar situations in other countries or in other projects.
I'm participating first time actually in horizontal evaluation, and I find it an excellent tool, really, as a tool to see how evaluation can be done differently.
The internal group consists of people who were involved in the leadership of the project, of a process, but also the beneficiary itself. So it is a group that somehow have lived the experience. And the external group consists of people who work in similar fields with the similar topics and who are able to reflect from their own perspective and thus generate interesting recommendations for the team, but also bring back home socialized insights. The horizontal evaluation is structured in 3 days. The first day of the workshop consists of the presentation of the internal team. They present the experience with PowerPoint pictures, with video, products if they have, and also 1 or 2 actors, beneficiaries, also present from their point of view how they have perceived this experience.
So it is called horizontal evaluation because around one table, around one issue, you have a group of people, group of equal people when it comes to their experience, when it comes to seniority, when it comes to their skills, but in the same time group of people which are in a different fields, which are in a different positions, and therefore each of them they're looking from the different angle, different aspect of the issue, of the project, of the program they're assessing.
In the second part, in the afternoon, both teams start to assess the experience based on 3 very simple criteria. And they start to discuss and define how they have perceived the different issues that have had impact on these criteria. The second day of the workshop is a field day, where the internal team takes the external team to the field. We usually make 2 groups to not have 2 big groups, to confront them to the actors, usually the beneficiaries involved in a project. So the external team, they get the opportunity to see really in the field how these actors have worked, and there is space to interact with these actors to really find out more about the experience and especially how these actors have perceived this project or process.
With regards to the field visit, yesterday evening when we came back, I had the feeling yes, it was a nice day, it was interesting. We got a feeling about what's happening in the field, but also I had a bit of frustration. I thought, we didn't ask the right questions, or maybe we should have asked more. And I thought that probably a more structured setting or with more structured interviews, we would have gained more information or a better understanding. But then this morning we had our workshop, the 3rd day, and then I realized suddenly with the thoughts I had and the times I said something, I said, but where does this now come from? It's like, oh, so maybe the field visit really did bring something much more than I thought of.
In the 3rd day, all participants go back to group work and they assess in more detail now, based on the experience from the field visit, how they perceive the experience and how they assess it in terms of what have been the real issues that have generated the type of impact that is assessed. The information between the internal and the external teams are shared, discussed, and then in the second stage the internal team derives own conclusions and recommendations for themselves, while the external people make also recommendations for their own context. What have they learned out of this experience and how is this going to impact their own work?
Thanks to the structuring of the evaluation, which had different elements, interviews, focus groups, the field visit, etc. This variety of inputs allowed really for the participants to gain in a short time and with limited information, we were able to discover and to come up with I think the key challenges and the key issues in this project.
If you can go and touch what people, let's say, feel when they discuss for this experience and how they feel in this new step, you can see the social aspects or other aspects that cannot be presented by figures are really important.
The idea of horizontal evaluation allows also for peers coming maybe from similar contexts or working with organizations which also do similar work to come and therefore, because of their understanding of the context, maybe come up with maybe better recommendations or recommendations which the project team feels are more relevant for them. So I think this is really a positive impact of an horizontal evaluation.
When it comes to the complex projects with a lot of stakeholders, with a lot of actions, with the different, the directions of interventions, then you really need to approach more wider, and for that the only proper method, at least for me, and it is a horizontal evaluation.